Well, good morning. We're now in day 10. We'll be reading from Genesis 19 and go to chapter 20. Now the two angels came to Sodom in the evening as Lot was sitting at the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. And he said, Now behold, my lords, please turn aside into your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then we may rise early and go your way. They said, however, no, but we shall spend the night in the square. Yet he urged them strongly. So they turned aside to him and entered in his house. And he prepared a feast for them and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. Before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, surrounded the house, both young and old, and all the people from every quarter. And they called to Lot and said to him, Why are the men who came to you tonight? Where are the men that came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we might have relations with them. But Lot went out to them at the doorway, shut the door behind them, and said, Please, my brothers, do not act wickedly. Now behold, I have two daughters who have not had relations with man. Please let me bring them out to you, and do whatever you like. Only do nothing to these men, inasmuch as they have come under the shelter of my roof. But they said, Stand aside. Furthermore, they said, This one came in as an alien, and already he is acting like a judge. Now we will treat you worse than them. So they pressed hard against Lot and came near to break the door. But the men reached out of their hands and brought Lot into the house with them and shut the door. They struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they worried themselves trying to find the doorway. Then the two men said to Lot, Whom else have you here? A son-in-law and your sons, your daughters, and whomever you have in the city, bring them out of this place. For we are about to destroy this place, because of their outcry has become so great before the Lord that the Lord has sent us to destroy it. Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law who were to marry his daughters and said, Get up out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But he appeared to his son-in-laws to be jesting. When morning dawned, the angels urged Lot, saying, Up, take your wife and your daughters who are here, or you will be swept away in the punishment of the city. And he hesitated. So the men seized his hand, and the hand of his wife, and the hands of his two daughters, for the passion of the Lord was upon him, and they brought him out and put him outside the city. When they had brought them outside, one said, Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, and do not stay anywhere in the valley. Escape to the mountains, or you will be swept away. But Lot said to them, Oh no, my lords. Now behold, your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have magnified your loving kindness, which you have shown me by saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountains, for the disaster will overtake me, and I will die. Now behold, this town is near enough to flee to, and it is small. Please let me escape there. Is it not small? That my life may be saved. And he said to them, Behold, I grant you this request, not to overthrow the town of which you have spoken. Hurry, escape there, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there. Therefore the name of the town was called Zor. The sun had risen over the earth when Lot came to Zor. When the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire, and the Lord out from heaven. And he overthrew the cities and all the earth, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and what grew on the ground. But his wife from behind him looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Now Abraham arose early in the morning and went to the place where he had stood before the Lord. And he looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, heard all the land of the valley, and he saw, and behold, the smoke of the land ascended up like a smoke of a furnace. Thus it came about, when God destroyed the cities of the valley, that God remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, and when he overthrew the cities in which Lot lived. Lot went up from Zoar and stayed in the mountains, and his 2 daughters with him, for he was afraid to stay in Zoar. And he stayed in the cave, and he and his 2 daughters. When the firstborn said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man on earth to come in with us after the manner of the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, let us lie with him, that we may preserve our family through our father. So they made their father drunk with wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father. And he did not know when she laid down or when she arose. And on the following day, the firstborn said to the younger, Behold, I lay last night with my father. Let us make him drink wine tonight also. Then you go in and lay with him, that he may preserve our family through our father. So they made their father to drink wine that night also. And the younger rose and lay with him, and he did not know when she laid down or when she arose. Thus both daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The firstborn bore a son, and called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. And the younger, she also bore a son, and called his name Ben-Ammi, and he is the father of the sons of Ammon to this day. Now Abraham journeyed from there to the land of Negev, and settled between Kadesh and Shur. Then he sojourned to Gerar. Abraham said of Sarah his wife, This is my sister. So Abimelech king of Ger sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream that night, and said to him, Behold, you are a dead man because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is married. Now Abimelech had not came near her, and he said, Lord, will you slay a nation, even though blameless? Did he not himself say to me, She is my sister? And she herself said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands I have done this. Then God said to him in the dream, Yes, I know that it is that in the integrity of your heart you have done this, and I also kept you from sinning against me. Therefore I did not let you touch her. Now therefore restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not restore her, you shall surely die, you and all who are yours. So Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their hearing. And the men were greatly frightened. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, What have you done to us? And how have I sinned against you, that you have brought on me and all my kingdom a great sin? You have done to me things that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said to Abraham, What have you encountered that you have done this thing? Abraham said, Because I thought, surely there is no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she actually is my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. And it came about, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said to her, This is the kindness which you will show to me, Everywhere we go, say of me, this is my brother. Abimelech then took sheep and oxen, male and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and restored his wife Sarah to him. Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before you. Settle wherever you please. So Sarah said, to Sarah he said, Behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, it is your vindication before all who are with you, and before all men who you have cleared. Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maids, so they all bore children. For the Lord had closed fast all the wombs in the household of Abimelech because of Sarah and Abraham's wife. Psalms 6. O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger, nor chasten me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am pining away. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are dismayed, and my soul is greatly dismayed. But you, O Lord, how long? Return, O Lord, rescue my soul, save me because of your loving kindness. There is no mention of you in death, in Sheol, who will give you thanks. Proverbs 3, 1-4. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Do not let kindness and truth leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. For you will find favor and good repute in the sight of God and man. Matthew 8. When Jesus came down from the mountain, large crowds followed him. And a leper came to him and bowed down before him and said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be cleansed. And immediately leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus said to him, See that you tell no one, but go yourself to the priest and present the offering that Moses commanded as a testimony to them. And when Jesus entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him, imploring him, and saying, Lord, my servant is lying paralyzed at home, fearfully tormented. Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. But the centurion said, Lord, I am not worthy for you to come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man under authority with soldiers under me, and I say to this one, Go, and he goes, and to another, Come, and he comes, and to my slave, Do this, and he does it. Now the Lord heard this, he marveled, and he said to those who were following, Truly I say to you, I have not found such great faith with anyone in Israel. I say to you that many will come from east and west and recline at the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will not be cast out into the outer darkness, and that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And Jesus said to the centurion, Go, and it shall be done for you as you have believed. And the servant was healed that very moment. When Jesus came to Peter's home, he saw his mother-in-law lying sick in a bed with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she got up and waited on him. When the evening came, they brought to him many who were demon-possessed, and he cast out the demons with a word, and healed all who were ill. This was to fulfill what was spoken through Isaiah the prophet. He himself took our infirmities and carried away our diseases. Now when Jesus saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to depart to the other side of the sea. Then a scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, The foxes have holes, the birds have and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Another of the disciples said to him, Lord, permit me first to go and bury my father. But Jesus said to him, Follow me, and allow the dead to bury the dead. Allow the dead to bury their own dead. When he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great storm in the sea, so that the boat was being covered with the waves. But Jesus himself was asleep. And they came to him and woke him, saying, Save us, Lord, we are perishing. And he said to them, Why are you afraid, you men of little faith? Then he got up, rebuked the winds and the sea, and it became perfectly calm. The men were amazed and said, What kind of a man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? Then he came to the other side of the country of Gadarenes, and two of men who were demon-possessed met him as they were coming out of the tombs, as the men were coming out of the tombs. And they were extremely violent, that no one could pass that way. And they cried out, saying, What business do you have with each other? Do we have with each other, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time? Now there was a herd of many swine feeding at a distance from them. The demons began to entreat him, saying, If you are going to cast us out, send us into the herd of swine. And Jesus said to them, Go. And they came out and went into the swine, and behold, and the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea, and perished in the waters. The herdsmen ran away and went into the city and reported everything, including what happened to the demoniacs. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus. And they saw him. They implored him to leave their region. Thank you for being with us today. We'll see you the next time.